Hey, what's up YouTube? Thank you guys for stopping by on my channel once again, and just checking in on my progress here in the Odin project and just working towards building my resume and learning towards getting hopefully eventually getting a job in software engineering. Thank you guys for checking out my video. Here we go. So after my last video, the next section that I had to work on was the HTML boilerplate. So got to learn how to put that together. So basically the boilerplate is just like a template where you kind of can build your HTML projects. So I'm gonna try to run through it for you, and I'll have it over here too, but I'm not looking at it right now. So you have the opening tag, you have the documentation type, so exclamation mark, doc type, HTML closing tag. Then you have the opening tag HTML. Then you can have the language or lang equals in exclamation marks. You can use English, is what I use anyway. Closing tag. Then opening tag, head, closing tag, and then underneath head, we've got meta, and then character set or car set, however you pronounce that, which is basically character set equals quotation marks UTF-8. Then you have closing tag, and then closing. Then you can also put in your title. So then you have those two, opening and closing title tags, and then whatever your title for your website's going to be. Then you close the head. Then you have the body element, and then you can put whatever you want in the element in the underneath the body. So you can do heading 1 through 6, paragraph, images. Then you close the body. Then you closing tag body. Then you have the closing tag for the HTML. Is that right? I think that's right. Anyway, learn how to do that and made my first super basic website, basically consisting of a title and a heading. So that was still pretty cool to be able to go online and see that I made and created my first website. So got to start somewhere. So the next up section was the working with text section. So kind of like I touched on earlier, learned how to make paragraphs within the body, learn how to make headings. So they H1 through H6, which are all just the different size of the headings that you want to put in there. Learn how to italicize sentences, words, however, with opening and closing tags, which is EM. Then learn how to bolden words, paragraph, words or letters or sentences with the strong tag. So that was pretty cool to learn how to kind of modify whatever text you want to put inside HTML or inside the body. And also learn how to put comments within HTML that won't show up on your website, but kind of show where your head might be at within writing within the body. All right, next up we have lists. So learn how to put in an ordered list and unordered lists as well. So ordered being 1, 2, 3, and unordered just being, I believe it's just like a kind of like a dot at the start, you know, not in any specific set or order. All right, so next up I got to learn, or the next section I got to learn from the links and images. So learning how to put links and images within an HTML document or on a website, pretty much. So learn the difference between an absolute and relative link. So learn how to create an absolute link, which is basically a link from another website on the internet, and a relative link, which is a link that gets information from pages that are located on like your own website or my own website. I also learned how to display an image using HTML on my website, and learned the 4 main formats formats of images like JPG, PDF, no, not PNG, GIF, and SVG. All right, lastly, my most recent section that I finished was the commit messages section. Basically kind of talking about the importance of writing a good commit message and why it's important to write commit messages. So there are several good reasons to why it's important to write a good, concise commit message. One could be applying for a job in the future. You know, if your commit message is more concise and you're able to give a good amount of information, I mean, that's going to look a lot better on a resume, especially if other people aren't doing it, or look a lot better to an employer, especially if other people aren't doing it. It allows you to quickly see why you changed something, when you changed it, and like for what reason. Why did I go back at this date and change this section of code? It'll just make it easier for you to know why without having to, figure it out. Makes it a little more clear. And then it's also helpful for you to be able to come back where you're working after you step away for a while. So say you take a break from your coding project for a while and get back into it, you can kind of understand and see where you're at and kind of where you were heading when you go back to your section of code. So also learn just the 7 simple rules when it comes to writing a great commit message in Git. So just making sure your subject is separate from the body, having like a blank line in between the subject and the body itself. Limit the space of the subject line to just 50 characters. Capitalize the subject line. So have if you're starting off your subject line as fix so-and-so, the F needs to be capitalized. Do not end the subject line with a period. Use the imperative mood in the subject line. So I know my coding language isn't quite all there yet, so this might not be right, but kind of like I was saying before, in your subject line being like fix so-and-so or do this, or kind of like giving a command more or less is what they mean by imperative mood. It sounds kind of like you're giving a command. Make sure you wrap the body at 72 characters. And use the body to explain what and why versus how. So what and why you did what you did versus how, because the code's going to should explain that itself. So next up in the lesson, I'm going to be working on my first project. So I'm looking forward to it, kind of getting a chance to put everything that I've been learning and working on so far within this course into a project I'll be able to save it and probably add on to it maybe, and we'll just kind of see how the projects go. I haven't done a project assignment yet with the Odin project, so it'll be interesting. Hopefully I'll be able to get a chance to tell you guys more about it during my next video. But so far I've liked what I've been going over these last couple weeks. HTML so far seems pretty straightforward, nothing overly complicated. I mean, no intense algorithms or anything like that. So far, I feel like I'm slowly just kind of soaking in a lot of knowledge. I know I've been taking it fairly slow, just working on this course a couple times a week. But when you're working a full-time job and you have a lot of other stuff going on, it's hard to take classes full-time, but I feel like it's allowing me to not feel rushed and just soaking up knowledge a little bit at a time. But anyways, guys, I just want to thank you guys so much for checking out my video. For those of you that have been following along in this learning process for me, watching these YouTube videos, I hope you guys get a little encouragement, and hopefully by the end of this, when I have a software engineering job, you can look back at this and be like, okay, this is kind of what it looks like. to get to where I hope to be. But yeah, feel free to subscribe, like the video, and hope you guys enjoyed this video. We'll catch you guys next time. Thank you guys very much.